in this day and age, without power, you can't do anything. So if you can imagine a restaurant, for example, cannot tend to its customers. Food that's been taken out of freezers to cook may have to be disposed of. Shops cannot operate their tills, etc., etc. So just if you think about a total power cut in an economy like Gibraltar, with 30,000 employees for 2 hours, just think how many man-hours have been lost. And the cost of those man-hours is significant. And then the disruption that it causes, because it's not just the couple of hours or longer in the previous power cut that the power is off. It's then bringing back up systems, because that takes time. But it's also the investor confidence. We're trying to attract businesses to Gibraltar. We're trying to grow our economy. And if we cannot give that confidence of a stable power supply, then that's obviously going to make people think twice.
The Chief Minister has said that Gibraltar is an electricity island and that it's important that it remains so for Gibraltar's autonomy, and that therefore there's always an inbuilt risk of power outages when you don't have a wider country to provide power backup. Do you accept this premise?
Yes, I do accept that, but I don't think that is a good enough reason for the number of power cuts that have been happening. I'm not an expert, and I'm sure the Chief Minister isn't, and neither are his colleagues in the government. But what I cannot understand, and what businesses cannot understand, and the community at large, is how often we have a general power cut for the whole of the communities. Surely there must be ways of isolating different districts and creating backup for different districts, so that one district goes down or one area goes down, the rest are not affected. I think in layman's language they could tell us what the problem is. We've invested huge amounts on a new power station, on a battery backup system, yet we're still having power cuts. Is it the network? If the network is the problem, has a survey been done of the network? And what does that survey say? And what is the issue and the issues in that network? And what are we planning to do to resolve that over what period of time, so that people, businesses and so on can plan and know what to expect? We just don't know. And frankly, our press release reflects what our members are saying. They're absolutely livid, furious. These are very, very challenging times for business in Gibraltar. We have the effects of the treaty that is going to create headwinds for some sectors, and a lot of change and work is going to have to go into that. And to be coupled with power outages when you least need them, the peak of summer with the World Cup going on and so on and so forth, it's just totally unacceptable.
The government has introduced legislation for fines for contractors who damage electrical infrastructure. However, this isn't always the case. As we saw the other day, it could be an earth fault or an interruption to the gas supply. So what are you calling for in addition to what's already there? You've said the government should provide compensation.
Well, I think given the number of power cuts we're having and the losses that are being created, the damage that's being created to the economy, I think businesses should receive recompense in some way, and otherwise, what pressure is there on those in charge to make sure that these things don't happen? It's there's never the same reason for the power cut, so surely there must be now a way of identifying what might be the cause in the future for future power cuts, and let's try and be one step ahead of that.